Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm your host, FD for Sage5.tv, and welcome to Weekend Focus, where we are looking at Bitcoin Cash, a cryptocurrency that was created via a hard fork from Bitcoin back in August 2017. The split was motivated by disagreements within the Bitcoin community over how best to scale the network for more transactions while keeping fees low. And the proponents for Bitcoin Cash believe that increasing the block size was a more direct path to scalability than other proposals on Bitcoin. For example, SegWit, Layer 2 solutions, and so forth. So while Bitcoin increasingly became viewed as a store of value or digital gold, Bitcoin Cash branded itself as a peer-to-peer electronic cash, a medium of exchange version of Bitcoin with cheaper, faster transactions. Bitcoin Cash retains many key features of Bitcoin's proof-of-work consensus, the 21 million supply cap, mining, UTXO model, but alters some parameters such as block size, difficulty adjustments as examples to favor transaction throughput, so there is a trade-off with Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin the Big Daddy. But before I proceed with this video, guys, please know that I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own research and seek those who are actually trained to give you financial advice. The information contained in this video is just for educational as well as entertainment purposes, and it's not expert advice of any sort. You do your own research or seek some expert advice. This content is also not targeting UK audiences for obvious reasons, so please, if you are from the UK, if you do decide to watch, you are watching at your own risk, but we are not targeting UK audiences with this video. That said, let's come back to the key features for Bitcoin Cash as part of our weekend focus for this week. The first key feature is Bitcoin Cash's larger block size and higher throughput. Bitcoin Cash increased block sizes initially at 8 megabytes, now it's up to 32 megabytes in many implementations, so as to allow more transactions per block, reducing congestion and lowering fees. Next key feature is the low transaction fees and faster confirmation times. This is because of less congestion and bigger blocks, which allows Bitcoin Cash to process transactions more quickly and at very low cost, often fractions of a cent. It is often touted as being more suitable for small, everyday payments. Next key feature is its proof of work and mining security. Bitcoin Cash uses a proof of work model, the SHA-256, same as Bitcoin, to secure the network, miners validate blocks and earn rewards. It also boasts adjustable difficulty and other protocol parameters, where Bitcoin Cash has adopted mechanisms to adapt mining difficulty and maintain block time stability, especially to handle variance. Next, it is decentralized and open source like Bitcoin. It is open, permissionless, with nodes able to run full validation. And finally, it's got wider merchant and payment adoption messaging. This is a central narrative for Bitcoin Cash as a usable digital cash accepted at merchants, usable for remittances and payment. While adoption is modest, that remains part of its value pitch, and that helps us to connect with the value propositions on offer. You go to real payments and cash use, where Bitcoin Cash aims to be a blockchain optimized for everyday transactions, cheap, fast, and easy. That differentiates it from coins optimized for DeFi, smart contracts, and institutional store value. It also offers decent scalability over time. Its larger block design can help absorb greater transaction volume without the same level of congestion. It has network effects and recognition as an older or one of the dinosaur coins. It is well known as one of the many Bitcoin forks. It has brand recognition and familiarity, and it's in the name as well. What about simplicity and reliability, where it focuses on payments rather than layering many complex functions, which then allows it to be used for different things, which is clear and tight as a use case. And finally, scarcity and fixed supply. It retains the 21 million coins, just as Bitcoin's cap, which helps in narrative of scarcity. So you can't fault it for that. Yes, it's a fork, but it's got other things going. But whether that value translates to significant adoption depends heavily on usage, merchant acceptance, and infrastructure, as well as competition. But in a world of multi-chain blockchains or multi-chain networks, I think Bitcoin Cash will thrive. You can see it's being included in various ETFs, various portfolios, and trusts. So it's doing all right. Let's move on to use cases. It can be used for everyday payments as a peer-to-peer money transfer mechanism for small microtransactions. You're talking of retail, tipping, and remittances, where low fees are essential. It can also be used for cross-border remittances because of its low cost. It can move value across jurisdictions cheaply and efficiently. If merchants accept Bitcoin Cash for goods and services, substituting credit cards, rails, or fiat transfers, that could be a way for Bitcoin Cash taking a fight to legacy financial systems and onboarding platforms. It can also be used as a bridge currency between crypto and fiat via payments. And don't forget, you can still store value in Bitcoin Cash if it's stable enough, because if you keep it and it's not stable, you end up losing most of your funds. So be aware of that. What about the the competitive landscape, well, there's direct and indirect competitors. You've got Bitcoin, that is the BTC we all know, the Big Daddy, the original and dominant store of value, which is the benchmark currency. Many see BTC as the superior anchor even for payment with L2s. It's still struggling. I haven't seen that many L2s actually doing much. If you want to know where Bitcoin is actually doing well, it's where there are centralized solutions. That's where it does well, which means you're just replacing the currency at the top, but the systems that are underpinning, say, the Bitcoin standard will be centralized entities, which defies the whole objective of cryptocurrency and blockchain. The other competitor is Litecoin, ticker symbol LTC, which is another legacy coin with faster block times, commonly used for payments. I quite like Litecoin, but I don't think it's as cheap, but I like using it. It's cheaper than Bitcoin, definitely. Then you got other layer ones like your Solana and Avalanche that also offer smart contracts. They provide fast, cheap transactions. They also offer a broad range of use cases beyond payment. There are other payment-centric and stablecoin rails such as Ripple and the XRP Ledger. Through XRP, though XRP is not purely for payment. You got Stellar and the XLM token or coin. You got some layer 2s and sidechain solutions on Bitcoin and Ethereum, enabling faster, cheaper payments on top of higher security chains. So can Bitcoin Cash actually outperform or compete favorably? Well, let's first look at focus and clarity. If Bitcoin Cash stakes its claim on payment utility rather than being everything, then that can be an appealing niche if it focuses on that. It's got established mining and a security base because it uses Bitcoin's hashing algorithm. It can piggyback on hardware and miner support to some degree. And without needing layer 2s, it may have an edge for some users who prefer fewer dependencies because Bitcoin, for example, uses layer 2s, whereas with Bitcoin Cash, you don't need that. And it also has lower complexity compared to smart contract chains. Its simpler model can be more reliable and auditable for its domain. But it may struggle though versus rivals. You got lack of innovation and the ecosystem is not really growing, is it? Many newer blockchains offer programmability, DeFi apps, which offer more utility and attraction. There are adoption bottlenecks as well because merchant adoption is not straightforward. Also have wallets, user experience, payment infrastructure, and regulatory acceptance, which may lack. And there is plenty of competition from Bitcoin's layer 2s. You got Bitcoin's Lightning or Ethereum's rollups might erode Bitcoin Cash's value proposition for cheaper payments. There are centralization and mining concentration risks as well. Some critics point to the concentration of mining pools, not centralization, or low usage risking weakening security, which means it's not as expensive to compromise compared to Bitcoin, where you'll probably need trillions to compromise the Bitcoin network. Who is willing to risk $1 trillion? But if it's several million, some people can do it if there is some gain to be had. And its narrative may also be overshadowed. In recent cycles, the narrative tends to favor smart contract chains, DeFi, AI, rather than pure currency forks, but Bitcoin taking most of the shine at the moment, including against other smart contract chains. Price prediction for Bitcoin Cash, or current price is sitting at around $580 as per coin market cap at the time of recording. Short to medium term, you're talking of where we are in 2025, we said fourth quarter into early 2026. Well, things align. I can easily see Bitcoin Cash reaching 3,000 to 5,000 if payment adoption picks up, macro tailwinds, and crypto flows. For longer term, 2027 to 2030 or 2032, somewhere thereabouts, in a strong bull cycle, Bitcoin Cash could push into 5 to 10,000 territory. Especially if Bitcoin is into millions, then it's easy to see Bitcoin Cash hitting these figures if it becomes a globally used payments layer. The bear case and the downside, in a weak cycle or suppressed adoption, it might revert towards the $50 to $200 level. That's quite a drop, isn't it? These are wide ranges, I know. Realistically, I would expect Bitcoin Cash's upside to be more modest relative to chains with broader utility, unless it rejuvenates its payment narrative compellingly. Final thoughts: Bitcoin Cash is the faithful cash cousin of Bitcoin, born out of a disagreement promising practicality over speculation. On that alone, you could say Bitcoin Cash actually offers more practicality than the speculative nature of Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash wants to be money you use, not just money you hold. In a world where transactions matter more than trophies, that's a compelling role. But the world has become more complex. Payments now compete with layer 2s, smart contract rails, stablecoins, and programmable chains. Bitcoin Cash might rekindle its narrative, grow adoption, and stay relevant if it can pivot beyond a legacy fork into a true payments network with strong infrastructure and merchant traction. You might see Bitcoin Cash climb far beyond $580 easy. If not, it risks being a relic admired for purpose but outpaced by systems that do more. For now, Bitcoin Cash is a meaningful bet on the old versus new paradigm. Binary cash versus programmable everything. May it hold its place or prove its reinvention. Any thoughts, guys? Let us know in the comment section. Until the next one, FD for for 65.tv. Signing out from our bye.